Collaborating to reduce homelessness. In order to meet the intent of the Hearth Act and the Opening Doors goals, jurisdictions receiving HUD's CPD formula funding and Continuums of Care, or CoCs, must collaborate in planning and a number of other activities to ensure strategic targeting of scarce resources. While such coordination and collaboration are not new concepts for these entities, what is new is HUD's explicit requirement that they work together on specific aspects of their programs to foster a community plan that ensures the seamless coordination of services and funding streams.
I'm Norm Suchar, Director of the Office of Special Needs Assistance Programs here at HUD. The most important piece of advice I would give communities about collaboration is that it's important to have a common vision and common goals and to really organize your collaboration around meeting that common vision and goals.
I'm Marlisa Grogan, a program specialist at the Office of Special Needs Assistance Programs at HUD. The Con Plan regulations, the COC, and ESG interim rules encompass two distinct planning processes. And they involve COC planning, which is directly focused on homelessness, and consolidated planning, or the development of the Con Plan, which has a broader focus on community development as a whole, but it also includes homeless-specific requirements. In the broadest terms, COCs and Con Plan jurisdictions are required to collaborate in the realm of consolidated planning, the development of the Con Plan. And when it comes to that, COCs are required to provide information and data to Con Plan jurisdictions, and Con Plan jurisdictions are required to consult with the COC in the development of the Con Plan in all areas related to homelessness. That's the homeless needs assessment, that's the strategy to address homelessness in the community, and it's also an inventory of all resources that are available to address homelessness in the community. Con Plan jurisdictions are also required to describe in the Con Plan how they attempt to enhance collaboration with the COC. If the Con Plan jurisdiction receives ESG funding, there are additional requirements, and those requirements are regarding the allocation of ESG resources, the development of performance standards, and evaluating outcomes of ESG activities, and funding policies and procedures for HMIS.
The relationship between these entities can sometimes be complex, as they often represent different geographies that may or may not exactly align. In some cases, COCs and Con Plan jurisdictions share the exact same geography. For example, the City of San Francisco is a Con Plan jurisdiction that receives both CDBG and ESG funding and covers exactly the same geography as California 501. The COC that encompasses the City of San Francisco. In other situations, the COCs and Con Plan jurisdictions do not cover exactly the same geography, but still align. For example, the Fort Myers COC encompasses Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Lee County, each of which is a Con Plan jurisdiction. Cape Coral, Fort Myers, and Lee County are all required to consult with the COC. Lee County must also consult with the COC to meet its ESG-specific consultation requirements. The COC is required to consult with all three jurisdictions and the state of Florida. Con Plan jurisdictions that are states are required to consult with all COCs within the state on homeless-related portions of the Con Plan, as well as those that are ESG-specific. Other relationships between COCs and Con Plan jurisdictions are more complex. Some COCs include cities and counties that do not receive direct CDBG or ESG funding, known as non-entitlement communities. In cases where a COC includes a non-entitlement community, the applicable Con Plan jurisdiction for consultation purposes is the state, even if the non-entitlement community does not receive the state's CDBG or ESG funding. For example, Indiana 500 includes Mishawaka, South Bend, and St. Joseph County. In 2015, Mishawaka and South Bend are Con Plan jurisdictions because they receive direct CDBG and ESG funding. On the other hand, St. Joseph County is a non-entitlement because it does not receive direct CDBG or ESG funding. So who must consult with whom? Mishawaka and South Bend are required to consult with the CoC because they are con-plan jurisdictions, and South Bend also receives ESG funding. The CoC must consult with Mishawaka, South Bend, and the state of Indiana to meet its consultation requirements.
We understand that collaboration is not easy, even within the same organization. So to expect that different entities coming to the table to coordinate is an easy thing would be expectations that are just too high.
For more information about the collaboration requirements, please consult the guide. This guide provides details about the consultation and collaboration requirements, as well as suggestions for how to accomplish effective collaboration. If you're unsure about the ESG, con-plan, or CoC contact in your community, visit www.hudexchange.info/grantees.